And we are live. Good evening, everyone. This is Royce Eddings, host of the Royce in the House YouTube channel. We've got 185 videos that are available to you at all times. I want to thank all my subscribers, all the people that watch our show, subscribers or non-subscribers. You're all welcome. We do appreciate when you do subscribe. It helps the show to grow. And so we've been growing, and we've been pretty happy about all of that. But as we start this new year, we want to be grateful for the past, find joy in the present, and remain excited for the future. Not always the easiest thing to do, but we have to work on it because what else can we do? We lost many, many amazing and notable people in 2022. And even, this is a music show, but not just musicians, but people of all walks of life, actors. I mean, people that have impacted our lives from all walks of lives. And I want to kind of go through a little list. Maybe we can comment on a few of them as I go. And some of these people, record producers, artists, not just musicians, and other people that have enriched our lives in one way or another. And we wouldn't all agree on this. And there's no way I could compile a complete list. There are literally hundreds of people that we've lost that many of us know about. The other thing I want to mention too is we are going forward, especially in the music industry, and all of our rock gods are really aging. Some of their music is 50 and 60 years old now. So they're in their late 70s, they're in their early 80s and beyond. So that saddens me a little bit, even though we'll always have the music to listen to, enjoy, and cherish. It's sad that a lot of them are going to be, dying over the next few years. So let's just kind of run through a little list of some of the people that were significant that we lost. Okay, and this is kind of in chronological order, starting in like January. January 12th, we lost Ronnie Spector from the Ronettes. Great band, very talented, very popular in its day. Meatloaf, we lost Meatloaf January 20th. And Bad Out of Hell, I've got that album, Bad Out of Hell, and very, very popular. He did acting and things like that, and was in some stage productions and things. Um, we lost from the band Foghat. We lost Jeff Howell uh, in March. Also in March, we lost. This one's a real heartbreaker because the band is so popular right now, and that is Taylor Hawkins from the Foo Fighters, the drummer of the Foo Fighters. We lost Taylor. Let's see, it was March 25th. We also lost teen idol from the 60s, Bobby Rydell, and we lost Bobby on April 5th. Um, let's see. From Earth, Wind, and Fire in April, we also lost Andrew Woolfolk. Andrew Woolfolk from Earth, Wind, and Fire, we lost in April as well. I mean, there's, like I said, once again, there's going to be so many that aren't going to get mentioned because there's just too many. And we honor all of them, all the people we've lost in 2022. We honor each and every single one of them. Okay, we'll get back to the list I compiled. Naomi Judd of the Judds. We lost Naomi in April 2022. And you know what? That was pretty much a crossover group. Yes, it was a country group, but it did cross over into pop and even some soft rock. I think everybody loved the Judds. Okay, so also, okay, thank you. My wife just brought me in some notes that I really appreciate. Okay, so after we lost Naomi Judd, we lost from Spinal Tap in May, the band Spinal Tap, we lost Rick Parnell. Then we lost country and western icon Mickey Gilley. Mickey Gilley was very iconic in country. The bars named after him and all kinds of things. We lost Alex John Such, original founder of John Bon Jovi's band and the bass player with them from the very beginning. Let's see, we lost him in June. Also in June, we lost Jim Seals from Seals and Croft. And what a great soft rock band they were. Everybody loved Seals and Croft. I know I did. Brett Tuggle of Fleetwood Mac, June 19th. We lost Brett Tuggle. And we also know I'm going in kind of chronological order. We also know we lost someone else from Fleetwood Mac. Um, let's see, we lost. Okay, this one I threw this one in because it just does have some significance for me. We lost Sonny Barger of the Oakland chapter of the Hells Angels, and I've ridden motorcycles my whole life. You know, I grew up in Henderson, Nevada. You could get a motorcycle license at the age of 14 years old. Well, my brother left to go into the military. He left me his Honda 160, which was a big motorcycle for a 13-year-old. And man, I rode that thing all day, every day, all over the Henderson, Nevada, Las Vegas, the Nevada desert, and had a ball. And of course, always knew who Sonny Barger was. And Sonny was instrumental. His Oakland chapter was in bringing all of the chapters of the Hells Angels worldwide under one banner, one corporation, you could say, and set all the rules. They drew up all the rules, and Sonny was instrumental, ringleader. I always consider him the godfather of the Hells Angels. And we lost Sonny. Let's see. I have to refer to my notes. There's just too much stuff for anybody to memorize here. But we lost Sonny Barger. Let's see. Of the Hells Angels on June 29th, 2022. And I'll never forget when I got my first Harley Davidson, I was 18 years old. And back in the day, to keep your Harley from being stolen, you put them in your house, living rooms, bedrooms. Well, my parents wouldn't let me do that. So I kept a close eye on the backyard and had it chained up. But I was over at some older guy's house, and we were kind of hanging out. And he had his motorcycle in his bedroom, and he was working on it. And he opened the closet. Oh no, the closet door was closed, and there was a huge sign that said "Free Sonny" and a picture of Sonny Barger sitting on a chopper. Anyway, enough of Sonny. We love you, man, and a lot of good memories there. We lost from American Hall of Fame record producer, co-founder of Stax Records, Jim Stewart. Co-founder of Stax Records. That's huge. Bob Heathcote from the band Suicidal Tendencies. We lost him in July. Nichelle Nichols. We all remember her in Star Trek. Olivia Newton-John. We lost Olivia Newton-John August 8th. That was a shock. You know, I didn't. They're all a shock, really. We actually lost Queen Elizabeth September 8th. Queen Elizabeth of England, the longest reigning monarch in England. Um, yeah, so her son is now the King of England. Ramsey Lewis. Now, Ramsey Lewis, I have a little story to go with Ramsey Lewis. Back in the day, I'm 18 years old. Me and my friends are all into the psychedelic music. We're still listening to our soul music and loving it all. And we started to discover jazz. And Ramsey Lewis was a jazz pianist. And I got so into him and had his 8-track tapes and stuff. And I actually went to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas at a concert that was Ramsey Lewis in concert, me and my friends. We're all into him. We're all listening to Ramsey Lewis. We really dug that guy. And I'll never forget, I was heading for the exit, and he was coming out from where he got through performing, and him and I collided. And he just laughed and said, "Excuse me," and kind of made sure I was okay. And we both kept walking in the opposite direction. So, I mean, how lucky can you be running into Ramsey Lewis, right? Okay. And then we lost John Hartman in September of the Doobie Brothers. What a great band. Great, early 70s, mid 70s, very popular. Coolio, a rapper, very popular rapper, big name rapper, Coolio. We lost the Queen of Country, Loretta Lynn, in October. We also lost from REO Speedway, Greg Philbin. Jeff Cook from Alabama. Now, Alabama was a huge band in the area that I live in. We've got our Paso Robles Fairgrounds. The fair lasts for something like 10 to 14 days every year. And because it is a fair, you have all the farm animals, and all the animals are being judged. My daughter's had sheep for a couple of years in a row. And they bring in all these grandstand acts as well as some of the smaller acts that wind up being free shows for us, but they're sponsored free shows. I mean, I saw Peter Frampton at a free show. I saw a lot of great acts at free show. Eddie Money. without any money at a free show. They're getting paid, but it's free to the concert goers, because they're sponsored. The sponsor's paying them. But we have the grandstand acts, and I kid you not, Alabama was so popular, and I'm going to say mid '80s, that mid to late '80s, that they played 6 years in a row in the grandstands. And the grandstands, I mean, this went on for 10 or 12 nights, and every night there was a new act in the grandstands, and they were always big acts. I mean, I saw Eddie Van Halen, I saw Tom Petty, Bob Dylan. I mean, just all the big acts were in the grandstand. Anybody that was touring would be at the Paso Robles fairground in the grandstand stands. And some of my friends even opened for some of those bands. They would tap local talent to open up for them, and that was a lot of fun. My across the street neighbor opened for a big act. I think it was like one of the grunge bands, back in the day. I can't remember the name of it right now. But anyway, so moving on. Okay, so Jeff Cook of Alabama died in November. Dan McCafferty of Nazareth died in November. And now we get to the Keith Levine of the Clash. Clash died in November also. Then we get to Christy McVeigh. And I mentioned earlier, we mentioned another member of Fleetwood Mac that died. Well, Christy was a founder and probably one of the best writers, and was on a lot of the really great songs. She died just recently in November 30th, the end of November. And then we all remember Stephen Twitch. He was a dancer and the DJ for the Ellen DeGeneres show, and everybody loved. 40 years old, had the world by the tail, and it was a suicide. And those are always mysteries to people. Then we lost Kim Simmons, a British guitarist for Savoy Brown. And recently, another kind of a heartbreaker. They're all heartbreaking, don't get me wrong. We lost Dino Danelli, drummer for the Rascals. Now, who doesn't remember the song Groovin'? I had a buddy of mine. In fact, he's actually come into the chat before. He still lives in Henderson, Nevada, where we grew up, Dave. And he had a really, really deep voice. And you'd hear him walking through the hallways of school with his deep voice going, "Groovin' on a Sunday afternoon." And we all remember that from Dave. And Dave was a guitar player that played in some of the local bands. I think my younger brother Richie even played with Dave in a band. Great guy, great guy. We all hung out. And then we lost, Joe Mersa, grandson of Bob Marley. Bob Marley has a lot of sons and grandsons. I've seen Ziggy Marley in concert here locally, and doing all of Dad's songs. And then Harry Shepard, a jazz legend, we lost in December. And last but not least, of course, Pope Benedict. And Pope Benedict had actually one of the very few popes that had resigned. So he wasn't the acting pope at the time, but we did lose him on December 31st, yesterday. So that's all the names that I was really going to mention here. If anybody feels like bringing something up in the chat, feel free to do so. And so other things that happened in 2022. Let's see. Well, first, let me just go ahead and thank all of these people for their contribution to the entertainment industry. Most of them, anyway. They're not all entertainers, but contributions to life, etc. But most of them are entertainers. We really appreciate them. We'll be listening to their music from now on. Things will trigger memories of them from now on. And loss is hard. And like I mentioned just a little bit ago, our rock gods. I mean, you look at Keith Richards and Mick Jagger and Jimmy Page, and you look at the age of these guys, man. I mean, we're going to start losing a lot more of them, and a lot more of them that we feel really close to. We've been listening to some of these people since the '60s, and it's not going to be easy to lose them. We're always going to have their music, but we're not always going to have them. No more than we're always going to have one another and our loved ones. So moving along here then, let's take a moment of silence to reflect on all of those lives that we've lost. Okay, thank you. 2022, a lot of crazy things happening in 2022. It seemed like every band um, was out on tour. I mean, when I'm talking about bands that hadn't toured in years, hadn't played together in years, hadn't produced any new music in years, everybody hit the road. I mean, this was post COVID. Nobody could tour during COVID. Betty and I had bought tickets to see the current Rolling Stones tour in San Diego. We paid for the tickets, we booked a flight, we paid for rooms, and then due to COVID, it was canceled. So that was going on everywhere. No one was getting to watch concerts. No one was getting to play in concerts. So with the end of COVID, it just blew up. The concerts took off. Um, you know, some of the things, staggering ticket prices. I think Bruce Springsteen was topping it, 5,000 and above for tickets. I think the last I heard was 7 or 9,000, just unbelievable. And I'm talking about the best tickets. I think the average price of a ticket is probably a little over, 125 to 150 or $75. A lot of them are still around $100, but you know what? You get kind of spoiled once you've had good seats, and it's hard to sit at the back of an arena with people standing on their chairs in front of you. We did see a couple of good concerts this year, Betty and I. I saw Alice Cooper. I went solo to that in April. And I don't remember when I've had so much fun at a concert. The goblins, the beheading, running around the stage, his head, dripping blood, things like that. It was just amazing. And the guitar playing and the drumming, Alice is singing. I mean, the whole thing was just what a wonderful concert. What a talented guy. Ryan Roxy was right in front of me playing the guitar, and every time I hear him, he gets better. And I didn't think that was possible. What a fluid guitar player. I've seen him play 7 or 8 times now. But anyway, so it was just a great show. And then a few months later, Betty and I went to see Journey right here at my Paso Robles Fairgrounds I keep talking about. And our niece came from up north. She came down. We bought her a ticket, and we all went to Journey together. What a great show that was! And we had good seats, and we really enjoyed that. So yeah, we've been to a few concerts, but like I said, we didn't pay whether it was Alice Cooper or Journey. I don't think I paid more than maybe $100 for very decent seats. Okay, also in 2022, we're going to start getting out of 2022 here. But, we had this deluge of new box sets. And I don't have a problem with box sets. I own box sets. And I show them on some of my shows when I'm unboxing vinyl, which is not as much as it used to be. It used to be purely unboxing vinyl. And some great shows that I have that you're welcome to go watch at any time. 145 videos out there, multiple playlists. Some of them are live podcasts. Some of them are pre-recorded, like I'm doing here tonight. Some of them even have to do with construction how-tos and tours of famous places, why we love the Central California coast. I go around and do these little travel vlogs as well. But what I call the flagship is my live podcast, music-based podcasts. And this will come up into that playlist, under that playlist, I should say. But so we saw a deluge of box sets, and I've never seen anything like it. I actually did a show just on box sets, and there were several that were in the $500 range, and then there were some you could buy for a little over $100. Notable among the new box sets was the remastered, Revolver, Beatles album Revolver, and everybody had something out. I mean, Guns N' Roses had something out. Kiss was doing box sets just on individual albums, and sometimes people will take a single album and produce a couple more with some outtakes and stuff that didn't go on the original album, and then they'll maybe remaster the original album, and they'll put booklets in there and maybe throw a couple of CDs in and some other things and posters, and you have a box set, and people are eating them up. They're very popular. I haven't bought any lately, but I do have several before it got, real popular. But anyway, so that's what's going on with the box sets. They're out of control. And, so many albums, not even box sets. The albums are just being, like I mentioned, repackaged. Some of them just reproduced on colored vinyl. And they're all being, remastered, recolored, whatever. And there's just all kinds of stuff, existing stuff that we've had forever that's for sale now, kind of repackaged. Also, last year we saw, getting away from the music for just a minute, start of the war in Ukraine. That's been a big thing. It contributed to, some of our economic. We're pouring a lot of money in there, and believe me, I no bigger supporter of the Ukraine than myself. And just horrible what Vladimir Putin's doing over there, bombing all these civilian targets. I mean, schools, hospitals, electric power plants, gas. Dropping bombs close to nuclear power plants, threatening to use nuclear weapons. I mean, who could sleep at night with this stuff? You got to just kind of forget about it and know that it's all going to work itself out. But anyway, so we had the start of the Ukraine war. We have extreme inflation in the United States. I've never seen anything like it. My truck is a diesel, my work truck, which is what I drive most of the time. And I saw diesel hit $7 a gallon. Right now, locally here at least, it's still over $6 a gallon. I just bought some for $6.40 something cents. Gasoline has got up as high as $6 a gallon, and we've seen that drop into the mid fours now, sometimes the low fours. But that's a lot of money. It's double what it was a few short years ago. And then the diesel, and then try to find employees. I mean, everywhere I go, there's a help wanted sign, and now you're starting to see wages posted outside as an enticement. I'm seeing cooks in fast food restaurants offered, 20, 22, $24 an hour. People at the counters being offered $20 an hour, being offered 401k, education, healthcare. I mean, things are changing, and I'm all good. I think everybody should get paid a living wage. Years ago, I worked with a German fellow named Rolf Broner. We were both carpenters on a job, same contractor we were working for. This was in the late '70s, and Rolf said, Royce, it's much different in Germany. I go, well, what do you mean? He goes, well, here you might have someone making $3 an hour, someone making $25 an hour. He goes, not like that in Germany. He goes, everybody's paid a living wage, and the gap between the high and low, instead of $3 to $25 might be like 12 to 15 or something like that. I've never had a problem with everybody getting a living wage. I don't care what they're doing. If they're flipping burgers or waiting on table, I don't care what they're doing. Everybody deserves to make a living. I don't like to look at any of these jobs as temporary student jobs. Everything should pay better, but we're paying for it. Inflation is very high. Groceries are super high. I was looking at meats in Costco the other day, and it's like these packages of meats were anywhere from $75 to $150 for several steaks, and way, way, way more than it ever used to cost. Everything's sky high. Interest rates are shooting back up because we're trying to fight inflation, and that's what the Feds always do, is raise the interest rates to try to cool down the inflation and get the prices to stop going up and even come back down. So we're dealing with all of that kind of pre-recession, hopefully not pre-recession stuff that I've been through about 3 of these cycles now, and the last one was extremely painful. As a builder, I had 6 homes for sale and 11 new ones ready to pull permits on when the economy crashed and housing collapsed. So anyway, I'm not looking forward to anything like that again. I really just want to retire. You know what I'm saying? But so anyway, we also saw an election, a midterm election, a very, very divided country. I've never seen anything like this. All I remember is one of the hallmarks of America was a peaceful transfer of power. This wasn't like a tin horn dictatorship where people tried to cling on to their power with a gun. You lost election, you passed it on. Anyway, I don't like to even talk about politics. It's just too divided. But moving forward, let's talk about a little bit about 2023. There's not a lot to say yet because this is the first day. Well, we can talk about some of the things we're hoping to see happen. Okay, I'm hoping for well, first of all, I'm hoping. I want to thank all of my subscribers, and there's a lot of people out there. When I look at my analytics, half the people that are watching my show are subscribers, and half the people just dropped in and watched the show and enjoyed it and come back and haven't subscribed. Well, I just want to make sure everybody knows that it doesn't cost a dime to subscribe to a channel. But what it does do is it encourages a channel to keep going because people are liking it. It helps the channel grow. It helps the channel to get noticed. In fact, there's a like button you can hit on the show. And if you hit that like button, it lets the YouTube algorithm know that people like the content. So what happens is when people go searching for content, They know that the YouTube algorithm might recommend my show to them, you know. So it's really important to hit the like button. It's really important to subscribe and help us out. We put a lot, you have no idea how much time we put into these shows. I mean, I've spent the entire day just working on this short pre-recorded video that I'm still working on now. So help us out if you can. Subscribe to the show, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. Once you subscribe, you'll just get a little notice that the show's coming on, so you don't miss the live. The lives are always fun. We have the live chat and stuff like that. So anyway, moving forward and looking into 2023, I want to say that things we would like to see in 2023 include, we're hoping for a good outcome in the Ukrainian war. We want it to be over with. We want a good outcome for the Ukrainians. They've really suffered over there. We hope that gasoline, utility prices, grocery prices stabilize. People are really hurting right now. The prices are really gotten out of control and far exceeding some people, hardworking people's budgets. We hope there's going to be plenty of people that want construction jobs. I'm in the middle of a time-sensitive job where people were relocated as I'm working on affordable apartment buildings, government affordable apartment buildings. They had to relocate people into motel rooms, I should say, give them a food allowance and things like that. And so there's a lot of pressure on me. Well, the second day on the job, the framer that I hired to help me got hurt and had to go to the chiropractor. And for 2 or 3 days, I was giving him the opportunity to come back, and he didn't. And I'm out there working by myself. And they said, "Hey, listen, man, you got to get some help out there. We're spending a lot of money on relocation." And I had a hard time finding help. And I don't remember that. In 1979, I got my contractor's license, fell in love with doing construction work earlier than that. And there was never a problem finding help. People were knocking on your door looking for jobs. But right now it's not that way. It's really hard to find help. People don't want to do construction anymore. They want to sit in front of their computers like we're all doing here now and push buttons and make big money doing it, buy everything they want. And a lot of them will, and I'm happy for them. But it doesn't help me right now when I'm looking for construction workers. So anyway, I'm hoping for construction workers. I'm hoping for workers to fill all the jobs. You can go to a fast food restaurant in the middle of the day and the door's locked, and you look at the sign and it says, "Don't have employees. I had to close the door." So anyway, so that's tough too. I'm also hoping for peace on earth and goodwill to men. I hope everyone achieves their dreams and lives happy, fulfilling lives. And when I say peace on earth, goodwill to men, that's cliche. It's peace on earth, goodwill to everyone, men, women, children, everyone. And I just want to thank you all for joining me for my little, New Year's show. It wasn't going to be a big, long show. This is about all we got. I just want to thank everybody. Appreciate all of you. I really do. And that's what's going on in Royce's world today. Thank you all very, very much.